Hey, everybody. I'm a little hoarse this week. Um, I've been sick all weekend, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. Coming to you live from my bedroom. How was everyone's week last week? Did anyone try the chin and chill? Um, Maddie, how'd it go?
Good, good. I mean, he's very good at relaxing at home, at least. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about like taking it out to that next level. Um, did anyone get a chance to see the video? I re-uploaded it with Hugo at the end actually working in the car. If you didn't, go back to that. Casey, you saw that? Is it, I mean, it's just beautiful. Like to be able to see, oh, here it is in a real life scenario. So go back and watch that if you didn't get a chance to, because it really is impressive. And I do, and that was something that really happened by, so Hugo's situation, he's a client dog, and he lives with me part-time right now. Um, so his issues are that he has obsessive compulsive disorder, and when he sees light or shadows, he will bite at them. So that's why I actually have a gate that separates him from me in the car because he's come close to biting me before. And it's really only it's very well managed by medication, but when he is getting towards the time when he is about ready for another dose, sometimes he gets back to that behavior. And it can be unsafe, and it's not aggressive at all per se. He's not trying to hurt me. He just, his mind has flipped this switch that thing is the thing that he must focus on. So for a dog with that level of challenge to be able to learn something like this, just really like kind of magical. So we have so far learned recall with Find It, Come Here. We did some attentiveness exercises with the Watch Me with Movement, and we added distance and duration and distraction to it by just moving around. We did muzzle week, so we furthered our desensitization and counter conditioning knowledge and work. We installed gears in our dogs with Let's Go Hustle and Good Walking. So we have like now instead of like just a bike, we got like a 10 speed, which is nice because you want to have some kind of system in there that's easy to communicate with your dog when you need them to slow down or speed up. We did look at that. So that's the engage and disengage piece of this. We did chin and chill, which is the relaxation. And then this week we are going to actually watch a video by another CBCC certified behavior canine certified, I'm sorry, CCBC certified canine behavior consultant from the IABC who did I actually was going to make the video this weekend. I was sick, and I fortunately found one that is probably better than anything I could have made over the weekend. So we're going to watch that in a couple minutes. But I do want to ask you guys where you feel you are in this game of working reactivity. Like, how confident are you that your dogs can go on a walk and see a distraction, and you can mitigate that with the tools you've learned? So on a scale of 1 being like, there's no way, my dog cannot handle it, to 10, I want you to type in the chat how you think, where you think you guys are. Oh, a 2. Gordon, I don't think you're at a 2. Maddie, you're the 6. Nice. Okay. Okay. All right. So everybody, we got to help Gordon today. So Gordon, do you feel like you just have not had the time to put in to like get things catching? Or do you feel like there's more tools that you need? What is going on here, and how can we help you? Yeah, look at that is a big challenge. Gordon, go ahead.
It felt like it took an extra 3 weeks just to get Let's Go and the changing direction, not even to stick, but for her to even like acknowledge me like outside, like I take her out for training, and as soon as we got outside, it was, so I had to try a bunch of different things. Finally found a combination of time of day, treat, and location, like near the house, but not too near the house because she just want to go back inside. So that day was pretty good, and then I had mixed success on taking her on a walk with that. But anytime good walking is very hard because I feel like loose leash walking is a dream that I can't ever. I can get her to change direction, but it's immediately as far as the leash will go. She's like, okay, we'll go this way now. I'm still in the lead, and look at me while moving. I finally got her to, yeah. So I feel like I'm just weeks behind.
Okay.
And like Chin and Chill is good, but getting her to pay attention to me. All right, so 2 is a little harsh, and I'm just feeling down. But I'd say with people, it's getting better. She's less reactive with people. Another dog, oh, just forget it. So
So she's not there yet.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. I don't feel hopeless. I
Okay.
just behind. That's all.
Yeah. And Gordon, if you didn't do the basics and beyond course before that, you might want to go back and like go through those 4 weeks and pick up some of those skills. I see Tobias, you all shaking your head because you did that. It really kind of sets up everybody for it sets up the foundation behaviors. And what happens too is, if you haven't had a reward history with your dog, if you don't have a training history or a reward history, then it is harder to get these things. So, you jumped into deep waters, maybe just keep treading where you are. I think you said, 2 is probably a little harsh. So yeah, I would just say keep going. You're doing okay. And the fact that she is making progress is fantastic. I will also say that the thing that we're going to learn about tonight, the video that we're going to use is actually, this trainer is using it for, one of the things she uses it for is loose leash walking. So you're going to love this. She's actually using a waist leash, which I hate, and I would never ever use them. And I don't recommend them for dogs ever, unless you want to get like drugged down the street. But she's using it right, and it looks great. So, hey, Susie, the question we asked today was, how confident are you that you could take your dog for a walk? 1 being hell no, and 10 being absolutely yes. And mitigate the stressors in the world. Yeah, Sally is an A student, but you know what? Sally is an A student, and then Dana, you get her on the squad walks, and she's like, Dana, is she not perfect on the squad walks? I'm sorry, our neighbor dog is barking, which means that our dogs will bark. I mean, she really, like, because it's dogs that she knows, and it's an area she knows, and she's done it a couple times. Doesn't it seem like she's?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And she thrives in that, but it's still one-on-one in the neighborhood and from the deck.
Oh,
Struggles with. So if we encounter somebody else walking their dog, even a dog that we've seen plenty of times that she kind of knows, that's her thing. She's getting better with people. We can kind of get her to ignore that. But yeah, she still tilts into, like, that's why we haven't really been able to look at that, because as soon as she sees it, and she often sees it, smells it way before we do, she kind of goes out of the learning zone.
yeah. And I think, is she better when she's with Opie?
I think she is. Wouldn't you say she gets kind of extra energy? I mean, Opie is such a model walker. I don't know if he sometimes just doesn't see things. She reins in her energy a bit, I think, because
they feed off each
he's pretty dreamy on walks. Not to brag, but
Barbara Tiana. Fiji, what are you doing, ma'am? You're being disruptive in the classroom. So yeah, I mean, this
absolutely has the potential, but it's just like, we definitely know what we need to work on, and we know for sure what her triggers are, and for whatever reason, it's her territory.
There's
think-
all kinds of conversations going on here between BG and Kaya next door. All right, so let me grab this video. Oh, actually, let me throw the lesson in here first. So the way that Leslie McDevitt, who came up with these pattern games, and she is I believe she came from the like sporting dog side of things. Okay. I will tell you, I've no like I tried to get into that because there's like a ton of money in it as a trainer, and it's like, oh, that seems like fun, like dogs without like serious behavior issues, like, oh my gosh, just like go have fun with dogs and people pay you money for that. What? I don't like it. I don't, it's like very it has the same kind of feel as when parents put their kids in sports and are like living vicariously, and it becomes kind of not about the kid or the dog anymore, and it can be very like snarky and competitive, and I was just like, this ain't for me. But I will say this, they have created a thing called Rally, which is less competitive. The dogs are actually like competing against their own scores. Dogs who might have like a physical disability or need a special modification can get those. And it's all about the work with just the dog and the handler. But one of the things about competing is that you are in a pressure cooker, right? Like, can you guys imagine walking your dogs like into a ring with like a bunch of other dogs? Like, like, no. I mean, everyone's like getting nauseous here thinking about it. Like that's just not, so even though that's not like my thing, there's a lot of great stuff in the behavior world that comes out of those like sporting competitive those like ribbon winning dogs who go out there and deal with stress because they want, because their owners and hopefully them want to compete and like do this, and hopefully it's enriching for the dog. But I do think that the fact that a lot of these tools came from that world is just proof positive on how well they work. All right, so I am going to drop you the file first. Oh, and I was going to say, so the way that Leslie teaches this is she actually holds her hand, she holds treats in her hand, and she'll put it to, so this is the dog's face, this is the dog's face, this is my hand. She will put her hand to the dog's face and say 1, 2, and then open on 3. So 1, 2, 3. I find that causes a ton of frustration. We don't even teach the leave it exercise that way. Like, we don't just hold our hands and like let the dogs like paw at our hands and like rip up our like skin. Like, we don't do that anymore. We try to set it up so that they're gonna not fail. So we don't hold it right in their face. So the way that the way that I am teaching my dogs this, and the way that I teach client dogs this, is more of the way that Sarah Ondrako does it. So let me grab the link for her video, and it's about 10 minutes long. So I'm gonna hit that send button. So we're gonna be out for 10 and then back, but I do want you to watch for a couple of things. Towards the end, when they go into the woods, you are going to notice that there's an accidental leash pop, okay? Because she has, and this is not, listen, this is not to be critical of a trainer, because you will hear me read myself when I watch myself on video. I'm the most critical person of my timing, of my technique, of, what I'm seeing, what I'm missing. So there's no shade on Sarah. But you will see that there's a little bit of an accidental leash pop or leash correction, which we really want to avoid. That's one of the reasons that I don't love these waist leashes, because sometimes you turn away and you just don't realize that you don't have enough space for the dog. And then I also want you to notice that in the end of the video, when they're in the woods, that dog is like not, I think his name is Gus. He's a doodle. And he's amazing. And you'll see that there are parts in the video where like a cart goes by and it totally works. It's amazing. but when they go into the woods, everything is so enriching, like all the smells and everything, that he is just like, you can still use it, you can still do it, right? But it's not as good. So let's just read through this handout real quick. So pattern games, this one is called 1, 2, 3, and there's a bunch of other games in the Control Unleashed book. So animals, including humans, love patterns. We thrive on routine. Dogs do too. Our goal with this game is to introduce a series of predictable cues that end in a reward. Think of it as a ritual that you and your dog lean into when you're in a challenging environment. Things might be going on, but your team is on a different mission. The traditional way that this is taught by Leslie McDevitt in Control Unleashed is to hold a treat in your hand, put it to the dog's nose, count 1, 2, and on 3, open your hand. Because some dogs can get frustrated with that method, I recommend a different version of this. We will be teaching this backwards, also known as backward chaining or back chaining. So how it works is you say your dog's name and then 3 and give a treat. We should have had treats up here because my dogs are sitting right here. So I'm actually going to say a different word. I'm actually going to say 4 because I don't want to burn this for my dogs. Okay. So then you say your dog's name again and say 2, 4. Then deliver the treat. You repeat that 10 to 20 times each one. Then on the third one, you're going to say your dog's name again. And then 1, 2, 4 and deliver the treat. Now, this is not, we are not asking for a behavior here. This is different than anything we've done before, okay? It's more like marking, right? We want that THREE to be super frigging reliable. So if you say it, you want to get that treat right in front of that dog's face and get it in their mouth. It's not reliant on them paying attention to you. It's the predictability of the pattern. And once your dogs learn this game, you will easily be able to buy yourself some time if you notice something tricky coming into the environment. Like I said, I use this with my clients and my personal dogs. I love how reliable it is to mitigate sticky situations. And I actually make it a little bit of a dance, okay? When we're in the, when we're in the rhythm and we're doing it, we might sing a little bit, we might snap a little bit, we might groove a little bit. We're doing a thing, right? And it's going to look, I don't care what Joe across the street thinks it looks like. My dog thinks it looks like a fun game that she knows is going to pay off for her. So, all right, I'm excited for you guys to watch this video. Let me paste this in here. All right, I will see you guys back here in 10 minutes. Oh, baby beeps. Oh, I'm sorry. Mama down.
He's so cute.
He is so cute.
I got Daisy sitting on my lap and Quinn sitting right beside me. I know.
Nice.
Poor
I got-
Daisy had an ear infection this week.
Oh no. How'd you find that? Was she shaking her head?
She had hurt her leg and we were trying to get her into the vet and she started shaking her head. I'm like, good time to go to the vet.
There you go.
So she has some tendon issues in her front shoulder. And she's on some anti-inflammatories right now and they gooped up her ear pretty good and
Nice.
she's feeling no pain now. How have you been? How are you feeling? I know. As good as you can.
Yeah, as good as I can. I mean, I got caught up with things today, so I'm feeling, it's better. It's just,
gotcha.
it was also like we were supposed to go to Cleveland for dinner last night for anniversary. Yeah, so it's all right. I mean, my he's so sweet. He bought me he went out and he bought me a bunch of like ginger ale and stuff and bought me dinosaurs and T-Swift. I'm like, my man knows me.
He is a very good husband. Absolutely.
He sure is. Oh man.
I was
actually
give her my tip the other day, but luckily I didn't.
No, my husband was going to give you the tip from the client that you met,
Oh,
but now he's like, I guess I can't do that
nope,
anymore.
nope, thanks though.
So,
I got a tip for him though.
right. Oh, I got to get a hold of you for some dates for Quinn.
Okay, cool.
I'm not sure when your rotation is, but I'll send you a couple dates after all of this.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I actually was watching the Quinn and Sean video I sent to a shelter that I'm doing some consult with to show them the like the sheep rattle and
Mhm.
how we use the stash pens and stuff. So that was nice. Got a little walk down memory lane.
You've had a lot of dogs in your care. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
been a lot of ability to walk down memory lane.
Yes, my house is a little memory lane.
No
All
doubt.
good though, all good. All right, everyone. So we watched that video. I mean, I felt like she did a great job of breaking it down, and showing all of the like different steps that you have to take and reiterating that it has to be the lowest stimulating environment first and you have to work up slowly, that you always want to treat for that third number, because we you know what happens when we're reliable to our dogs? They trust us. We want to be someone who our dogs can look at and say, I know that I can trust you when you tell me that something is going to be a certain way and you show me time and time again that it's going to be that way, that it's going to be that way. And I think that really helps to set up a good relationship, a good bond. I think that a lot of this training really relies on our relationship with our dogs because we are asking them to go beyond what their natural limits might be. So good work. Oh, I also wanted to say one more thing about the video that I forgot from in my notes. So she keeps talking about like breaking the dog from distractions. I would say that what we're actually trying to do, because I want to put it in the positive, is we're trying to engage the dog with the owner handler, right? It's not about what's going on out in the world. It's about that I'm reliable and I'm a system that you can trust. I won't let you down. I won't put you in a situation that is going to put you in danger. And I will actually bail you out of a situation that's too much for you. So I just think that that's, and we're always, always, always updating our language in behavioral sciences because we always want to be, as accurate as we can with our words because language really matters. There was one other thing I was going to say. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Does anyone have questions about what we went through tonight? Okay, I have another question for you guys. So, I don't know if you know this, but Casey is on our board of directors. And one of the things that Hello Bully is talking about is what we can provide for owners in the form of these type of remote classes. What are other things? I know loose leash walking is going to be one of them. It's probably going to be the top of the list. I know. I've heard you guys. And we can do that. You can do that, but that really would be a course onto itself. So besides loose leash walking, and then another one that we've identified is how we work with the more shy, fearful dogs. So shy fearfuls are over on this side of the spectrum, and our dogs, our reactive dogs, are kind of over here on this side of the spectrum. Guess what? They're all responding to the same stimuli. They're responding to the same thing. They just respond in a different way. They're all on the same spectrum, but some are more and some are more rah, so but what else? And you guys can think about this and hit us up an email. But if there's something else that we can give you as Hello Bully, we want to know because we build these programs because it is part of. Is anyone here a fan of Dr. Andrew Huberman? Okay, Casey. Yeah, I highly, highly recommend if you love science at all. Dr. Andrew Huberman does a podcast called The Huberman Lab, and it's all about using things that anyone can do to improve our quality of life. One of the things that he recommends is, if you have problems sleeping, you want to get out for 20 minutes without your sunglasses in the morning and set your circadian rhythm. He's also an ophthalmologist and he's a professor at Stanford University. But one of the things, oh, Case, I love that dog cat intros. Oh, and dog intros, like dog animal intros. Yeah, that would be amazing. But one of the things that Andrew Huberman says at the beginning of his podcast is this podcast is separate from my professorship at Stanford University. However, it is part of my continued desire to bring zero cost resources to the people. And that's something that I really admire. And I have always felt like, Hello Bully is, we might not be the biggest kid on the block, but we're the one who will step up and break down a barrier to get to the people that other folks aren't getting to. So please think on that and give us your feedback. Let us know what else would be useful, because we're going to be building out more classes in the future, and they're for you. So yeah, car trips. Oh yeah. I actually have, so I'm seeing later on this week, I'm seeing 140-pound English Mastiff who won't get in the car. And I'm like, how are we going to do this? Magic? Nope, it's going to be science. Yeah, Maddie, how big is your dog? 'Cause I don't
He's like 80 pounds.
know. Okay, yeah, but okay, this is like 2 of your dog though.
He's
Yeah,
dead weight though. He goes dead weight.
yeah, I hear that Hank just like kind of puts on the brakes when he sees the car and is like, nope, not gonna do it, cannot do it. So we're gonna be playing some. I think my plan is to first get him comfortable in the presence of the car. So in the other side of the garage where, we're going to go slow. If that doesn't work, what will we do? We'll back up and we'll work across the door threshold until we can come down those stairs and get into the garage. Then we'll start playing some operant games. We might use a targeting stick. There was a dog who was in a car crash and was just terrified of getting in the car. So we actually used a targeting stick and taught him to target, and just targeted him through the car. Like, amazing. And because he was in his operant mind, he wasn't in his anxious brain. And it's like, oh my gosh, if we could just do that for everyone, what a world this would be. So yeah, it's all of this stuff is a challenge, and who is that? Oh, hi. Alex, what's your dog's name?
Franklin.
Franklin. What doing, bud? Mr. Franklin, where are you at? He's like,
Frank,
he's like, I get paid for this. I don't
Come
come
here.
on camera for free.
no, now he's like gonna be shy. He's
Yeah,
like, no,
yeah.
I don't want to be in your face anymore.
Figures. All right. Well, any more questions before we sign off for this last time? It has been Go
I
ahead.
have a question if you have time.
Yeah, Amanda.
So my dog does this weird thing outside of all of the other weird things he does. But he mostly does it with my husband, and he will he'll go up to my husband and give him his butt because he wants it pet, right? We think. And then he'll growl at him. Like, he'll actively growl at my husband while also willingly walking up and saying, pet me.
All right. My first question is, are you sure it's a growl and not a vocalization?
He kind of snarls while he's doing it. Yeah,
well, that's how we
I
would
don't know
know.
how else to describe it but growling and snarling. And like, he'll snap once in a while too, but he's free to walk away and he doesn't. But he'll keep presenting himself like he wants his butt scratched.
Yeah. At what age did you get your dog?
About 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where did he come from?
There was another family who couldn't keep him because he was hurting their children. So we took him, and then his aggression didn't start until he was fixed. So whatever traumatic thing happened at the vet, anybody he met before that period was totally fine, dogs or people, didn't bother him at all. But from that point forward, anybody new to him, he's been reactive with. which
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident is a fear regression.
Yep.
But he knew my husband before that. So I don't know what this like weird I hate you but also touch me at the same time thing is.
Yeah, so that's it's actually not, it's not that weird.
Okay.
What we're just seeing is he's conflicted, right?
Okay.
So he wants attention, but he cannot handle that attention. Um, do you guys remember a couple years ago? Oh God, it must have been like 5 years ago now. There was someone on Christmas tied a dog up to a dumpster in Pittsburgh. Do you guys remember that? And the dog was like terribly underweight, and they showed the owner like throwing the crate in a dumpster. That dog was super, super fearful, and she actually came to me for rehab. And that's one of the things that would happen with Remy is she would come up for pets and she'd get all into it, and then she'd be like, "Oh shit, I did not mean to do this to myself. I am way in over my head," and would snarl at me. So it's really about seeing those precursor signs. So that stiffness,
Mhm.
that tension, even the presentation. If he's presenting his butt, I would, anytime he does that, I would ask him for a hand target, a sit, a down, and then I would pet him on the front of his body. I would
Okay.
just make a new scenario for every time he does that, and we'll try and turn him in a different way.
Okay.
Ginger asked about the waist leash. Hey, I think it's great if you have control of it. I mean, if I felt like I could use one with my dogs, but I feel like my dog's going to the end of the line, they might like take me down. I also feel like there's a lot of emotion and energy in our hands, and it's going down that leash. And when I'm taking a deep breath because I see that there's a couple of dogs coming and one's wearing all pink, and I know that my female don't like other bitches, I'm breathing deep. I'm feeling calm. I'm like in my scissor zone, just chilling, deep breathing. Okay. Like, so I do think that there's messaging that we can send down with the leash. So that's maybe one of the drawbacks. But the other is just that you can do, it's so much easier to get an accidental leash correction. And the problem with leash corrections is that dogs are on walks and they see all kinds of things. What if they pair a leash correction with the sight of a child? Like, that's my go-to example. You put a prong collar on a dog and you jerk that thing when that dog's looking at a child because he's uncomfortable. Guess how much more uncomfortable that dog is about children now? Like, you just dug yourself big deep, big deep.
Can we
Thank
talk a little
you.
bit about next week too?
So we are going to be getting together at Nob Hill Park on Sunday, October 1st. If you live in the Pittsburgh area, I would just love it if you would join us. The expectations are zero. We have no expectations of your dog. But I will tell you that every single person who has shown up on our previous walks, they did 2 laps. They got halfway through that first lap and they were like, "Oh man, this is working." And we're able to do 2 laps. Okay. So it's near it's in like the Wexford area. It's not far off of 79. I actually put the address in the Facebook group. I made an event for it. If you put in the address 420 Nob Hill Road, that's like the super rich folks who live across the street from the park. Their driveway is gated. You won't be able to get in. The entrances are right across the street though, like they're directly across from each other. And we will have goodie bags for folks. We will have like going away prizes once you're done. Maybe somebody will get a special something. I don't know. But if you can come, it would be fantastic. And if you have more than one dog, Tobias, I know you guys have 3 dogs. You have to, I mean, somebody's on a 3. I would say that's who's Ralphie is probably staying home.
Yeah, Ralphie's staying at home.
Yeah, Ralphie's staying home this time.
Right.
It's okay.
And I'm debating if I'm even bringing. Bruno is our baby, and I want to bring Bruno, but I'm thinking maybe Matilda might be the only one that makes the trip of the 3.
All right.
She's done very well, and here's the thing: she was the worst out of the 3 in the basic that you trained us, right? And then we get her outside and start going, watch me and let's go and all that. And she's the best out of the group. So I don't know how that happened. It was a pleasant surprise. So we only end up bringing Matilda.
She was your sleeper.
Yeah. So,
That's awesome.
bring
That's
it on.
awesome. Well, I look forward to meeting you.
Likewise.
Awesome. Well, this has been great. And you all have been such a joy. And I just, I really feel like dogs are a gift. They're just a gift. And it's very weird of us that we looked at like some other animal and said, let us steal your babies and make them look like human babies and do a bunch of weird stuff. But I'm also 1000% here for it until the day I die. So, there's a little conflict for you. Yeah, but it's really a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to get to know you all. And I really appreciate you guys showing up, because showing up is what helps your dogs. And I hope that we can get more and more people to get through these courses and to get more people out with their dogs, because when we're not able to live life with our dogs, it decreases the quality of that relationship. So this is really about building better relationships and having a better quality of life with our dogs. So thank you all very, very much for being here. I appreciate you.
Daisy, another question if you got time.
Yeah.
Sorry. Are we good to like kind of come to the group walk and feel it out and nope out if it seems like a problem?
Absolutely. I mean, hey, bail your dog out of a tough situation. There you
Right.
go.
Because like on walks, like Zori's like, well, I don't know if you remember when we came to the group picnic.
Oh, to the
thing.
party. Yeah.
Yeah, she did pretty well there through a very slow kind of stay back kind of, if I don't know if you remember, but she did much
did
better
great.
there than she does on walks around the house. So I feel like it, given what we've worked on this time, I don't know. I figure we'll come check it out.
I would try it. And honestly, we leave, you don't have to be, you're not going to be right on top of other dogs. You're going to leave space, and you're going to be able it's a great park because it's like road width the whole way. And there's a lot of space on either side to get out of Dodge if you need to. So we specifically use this park because it's so good for these kinds of walks.
Okay. I was picturing like a parade.
No, I mean, we might try and get like a group photo if we can, like get everyone kind of spaced out, like in a,
Okay.
We'll see what we can do. But no, we're gonna listen, we want this to be a success for the dogs. So we're gonna set it up to be successful.
So this
Thank
walk
you.
is the park enclosed?
No, the park is not enclosed, but all dogs have to be on leash. There's a playground there, there's a ball field there, there's a barn there, there's disc golf in another area.
Okay.
But all the dogs, we that's also the other thing is we don't typically see off leash dogs at this park. So
okay.
I just want to say thank you, Daisy, for everything you've done. You are so amazing. And when we started in basic up till now, when we first met you, our all three of the dogs were on shock collars, right? So we, in the beginning, I think even a couple of the videos I had, they were wearing them. And I can't tell you the last time they had those collars on. I don't even know where those collars are. I really don't. They haven't worn them. You've made such a big difference in our lives, and we still have ways to go. We're still working on some things. I've had some trips and we got a little bit behind in the rad dog, so we're still working on some things. But I'm telling you, you have saved our lives. We were so close. All three of these dogs rescued. We were so close to Matilda going back because of the attacks on Bruno, and we don't have the dog fights anymore. They still play and romp and do all that kind of stuff, but we don't have attacks and we don't have shock collars. So I have to say this. Thank you so much. We haven't made a donation yet, but I promise you, a donation's coming. I promise you. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Tobias, I just thank you so much for sharing that. That just fills, I mean, tears of joy. That fills my heart. Because I understand why people use shock collars. They are sold to us by people who are supposed to be professionals in this world, and it's a lie. You know, they're selling us something that's not good for our dogs. And when we can, without judgment and without any kind of like nastiness, help people to move away from those archaic tools, that just thank you, Tobias. That made my night. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, oh, I
In a
got
lot of the years past, also, we'd also had some of the behavior team that was there and accessible to answer questions and to bounce ideas off of. I know both myself, Daisy, and probably a few other of us will be there
Emily will
for
be
this
there. Yeah.
talk. So it will be fully supported as much as we're possibly able to by people who have been trained through the organization.
Yeah, you guys will have as much support as we can possibly give you. And hopefully we'll have Emily there. I don't know if Tina will be able to make it, but yeah, we'll have some good support. Oh, actually, I think my partner Brent is going to come with our client's dog Hugo and walk Hugo in the reactivity walk. So just please don't try and say hi to him. He has a whole protocol for that. That's another thing that we can talk about in the future. Is I developed a protocol with Hugo to be asked if he would like to be pet, because he had 3 bites and they were all when someone reached for him. So basically we set up stimulus discrimination where I offered him objects and I rewarded him for interacting with any of them. Like it was his choice. And I gave him a brand new marker for that. It was okay. And then what we did was we started using this as the cue for pets. And we, I think Gordon was talking before about finding the right time of day and the right treats and the right, like all the right, you know, when the planets align. So those are called motivating operations. So we basically found motivating operations that would lean towards him wanting to be pet or not wanting to be pet. And we did that equally to try and teach him that it was his choice. And we have tested it with probably 10 strangers. And he absolutely will come in if he wants pets and he will walk away if he doesn't, and he gets rewarded for both. And it is, it's so beautiful to see a dog learn that they can make a choice, because you know what? We don't let everyone hug our kids anymore, right? Why would we be letting everyone touch our dogs? I have some people at Hello Bully who have really great dogs in public, and they're like, but I want everyone to be able to touch my dog. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Your dog can be touched by the people who your dog wants to be touched by. We don't, you know, it's the new way of thinking that not everyone gets to pet your dog, because not all dogs are like that anymore. Probably never were. Oh, I like that. Franklin wears a bandana that says, give me space. Yeah, Hugo used to wear a leash flag that said, don't fucking touch me. Like he's not playing. And I'll show you guys this session in an email. I'll include it. I was doing a session with him downtown on the South Side, and we had a camera set up. I had a novel person there. We were doing the whole thing. And I turn around and there's like 6 people like sitting there by the Cheesecake Factory. And they're like, oh my God, we were just watching. I'm like, yeah, he has stranger danger, blah, blah, blah. What did they ask next? Can we pet him? Like, no, you can't pet him. Like, did you not read his thing? So yeah, there's a lot that we can do for these dogs, and I'm just happy to be part of it and happy that you guys are too. So everyone have a great night, and I will follow up with an email tomorrow. You guys have my email, okay? So that's the easiest way to get a hold of me. I won't always respond the same day, but I will always get back to you. And if you don't hear from me, email me again, because it is definitely never my plan to not get back to someone. And I am happy to give you any kind of coaching from afar. I also, as I promised in the beginning, if you have not seen any results with this and you are feeling like you need to talk to a behavior consultant and maybe talk to your veterinarian, I will do a free half an hour behavior consult with you. I will have you fill out, actually on my business consultant, I have a huge history form. I will have you fill that form out. And I will sit down with you and talk to you and then write something up for your veterinarian so that hopefully we can get you started on some relief. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Daisy. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
next
Thank
week.
you.
Oh, Ruffy.